agradecer enormemente que nos hayan cedido este espacio. Gracias Paul también, que nos va a amenizar la tarde, y bueno, el gran Colin Hunter, que también ha venido a acompañarnos esta tarde, baterista de la banda de los Quadrimen.
What she said.
Y bueno, pues yo creo que sin más preámbulos os voy a presentar a los protagonistas. Por un lado, Iñaki García, el escritor del libro, un gran fanático de los Beatles desde los 10 años y un gran conocedor de la música británica. Él ha escrito anteriormente otro libro sobre los Kings, ¿verdad? Álvaro Ortega, el ilustrador del libro, con una larga trayectoria artística, con más de 30 años, ¿puede ser?
Yo creo que sí.
Sí. Él ha hecho ilustraciones pues, para periódicos como El País, El Mundo, revistas como El Jueves, ha hecho carátulas de discos, portadas de libros, cómics, vídeos de animación también para muchas bandas de música, nacionales, internacionales, bandas tributo. Y bueno, tiene en venta ilustraciones en una tienda online que se llama Etsy. También podéis ver que se venden aquí, en la tienda de Penny Lane. Y bueno, pues Ramiro es el editor de la editorial Silex. Y bueno, pues no sé, yo creo que os dejo ya que habléis del libro.
Muy bien, Carmen.
¿Vale?
En inglés no lo
We can make it the same in English to introduce people here. Iñaki García Galera is the writer, the author of the book, The British Invasion, and he also got a very hit book before this one related to the Kings in Spanish too.
Also published by Silex, yeah?
Yes, also published by Silex. And this is Ramiro, the publisher, and I think the one who got the first idea of a book about the compilation of the bands of the British Invasion. And I remember we met in a cafeteria and take some carrot cake. And he told me, we can make a compilation of all the English bands who make success in America in the 60s British Invasion. And I think it was a very irresistible idea and a very good idea. Then we tried to enroll and talk about the one who would be the best writer for this idea, and talk with Iñaki, and then Iñaki, well, what do you think about it?
Well, first of all, I don't know if we will do this more in English, in Spanish. It will be a mix of both, but in any case, if you have any question or do you want to participate in some way or whatever, feel free to interrupt in any language of the two. and then we will be happy to answer. First, allow me to thank, first of all, Carmen for organizing all of this. We are absolutely thrilled to be able to present this book in Liverpool, because of all the dreams that have come true in the process of making and presenting this book, we would have never thought of making a presentation in Liverpool, in Penny Lane. And for it's very, very special, and we are very grateful for you to organizing this. Thank you also, Julie, for allowing us to be here and for all your help. Thank you, Jade. Thank you, Paul, for who will play a small set later. And thank you very much, Colin, for coming here. For us, it's a great honor to have you here.
Come out the housework.
Well, Alvaro asked me about the origins of the book and how I became involved. As they said before, I wrote a book about the Kings, which is called Atardecer and Waterloo in Spanish, which would be the translation for Waterloo Sunset. And we have done many presentations in Spain. I wrote it along with a friend, Manuel Recio. We did many presentations with a lot of promotion. And one day, Ramiro called me and said, I have something to tell you about. And I thought it would be an interview for a newspaper or whatever, something small. And what do you think about making a book about the British invasion with Alvaro Ortega? And it was like, whoa. And I said, please, Give me 24 hours to think about it, and then, because I'm not sure if I can get involved in such a big project, but let me think about it. And when I turned down the phone, I started writing the names of the bands who could be in the book, so I was already decided, and one day later I said yes. And when he told me that Alvaro was involved, because I knew Alvaro from YouTube and from Facebook and all the network, but I didn't know him personally, it was for me a thrill to be able to work with him, and then we got to meet each other and we became very friends. We have done 20 presentations all over Spain, and this is the only one probably outside. So it has been a very, very exciting trip.
Yes, the book was released at 2022.
Early 22, yeah.
And I think we got 20 presentations of the book in Spain.
Yeah.
And this is the final one because there's 2 years ago, and well, we had closed that loop and presentation.
And it doesn't get better than presenting a book in Liverpool. So.
I'm so sorry, my English is so very bad. I speak in Spanish, the translation, I think.
Sure, yeah.
Buenas tardes, encantado de estar aquí. Me fascina, es my first time here in Liverpool. Para mí es muy emocionante porque he amado a los Beatles desde niño. En mi casa se oía a los Beatles y yo era un bebé. Y bueno, estar aquí hoy es muy emocionante.
Well, he said he's very happy to be here. He has been a long time Beatles fan since he was a kid, and it's his first time in Liverpool, and it's very, very exciting.
Y bueno, quería preguntaros a los dos cuál ha sido el criterio para la selección de las imágenes.
Yeah, he asked,
Imágenes y textos.
what was the criteria for the bands that are in the book? The book is structured in a way that it's actually, there is a quite interesting introduction. No, I don't know if I am able to say that it's interesting because I've written it, but I think it's one of the best parts of the book, I can say that. And after that, there is a structure in which there is first the image of Alvaro Ortega for each of the band, and then there's a story of 40 bands. You have the image, and then you have like the story that I've written. And as you will see, there are many, in the early bands are mostly from Liverpool, which is very appropriate to present here. You have the Beatles, of course, which are the first band, Jerry and the Peacemakers, Billy J. Carmen and the Dakotas, the Searchers, and then bands from Manchester also, like the Hollies. And then as the book evolves, you also have bands from other places of England, from London, and also female singers like Cilla Black, Sandy Shaw, Lulu. And the criteria, well, for us it was a bit difficult to choose the 40 bands of this book, but we tried to make it the most important bands that we could, because in the end it's not a book about our favorite bands. Probably some of these wouldn't be here and there would be others who would be in, but the most important bands for the phenomena of the British invasion. And what we consider the British invasion, we had like to put some dates, a beginning and an end to it. We chose the release of Love Me Do as the beginning of the British invasion, because it's like when the Beatles came up and started, and then the release of Sgt. Pepper's as an end to that era, because it was like a new beginning of something different. So we chose 40 bands for the book, which actually had their first hit record between these two dates. Then we talk about the whole career of the bands, but it's mostly bands who appeared between 62 and 67. And that was the main criteria. And about the illustrations...
¿Y de las ilustraciones, Álvaro?
Well, the illustrations, the main thing, the first plan I got to make the illustration was to relate it with airport image, airport photographs of the band, because in 50s and 60s there's a lot of pictures about celebrities on airport, in the stairs, coming with fans, and I began to collect a lot of pictures of airport and bands and celebrities. And that was my first idea, 40 illustrations of 40 bands and 40 airports. So Ramiro and Iñaki told me that might be a very repetitive and very boring plan, so I changed to keep a plane, icon of a plane and a silhouette of a plane in all the 40 illustrations, but not in the scene and not only airport and airport images. And you can find in every one of the illustration a plane. Sometimes it's very easy to find, sometimes it's more hard, and only there's one illustration without any plane. And this silly game is something we first managed as a private joke.
That's a revenge from you
Yes.
for not allowing you to make 40 vans.
But after that, we maintain the joke, and that's a thing that helps to people scan the picture and looking for the elements, and we think it's funny, and we think it's again stupid.
In Spain, when there is somebody who finds the picture that doesn't have the plane, Ramiro pays a trip to Liverpool to the one who finds it. In this case, it's a bit silly to pay a trip to Liverpool, but he will pay a trip to Madrid to the first one who finds the picture with no plane, so you can scan all the pictures.
Look at Ramiro.
Y una cosa, Álvaro, que me gusta mucho del proyecto que tú has comentado antes de lo de los aviones, es decir, pero cómo van evolucionando el color. Por supuesto, empieza con los Beatles, que tienen este aura dorada, radiactivos, maravillosos y tal, y luego va evolucionando el color, ¿no? Son muchas como en blanco y negro al principio, y luego van tomando mucho color. Van tomando, es que no se ve ahora, Tom Jones, por ejemplo. No sé, ¿cómo hiciste eso?
Ramiro
No sé si
said,
aquí lo puedes-
Ramiro said that other criterion on illustration would manage the black and white and the color treatment of the image. And it was very easy for me because bands of the 60s began to be in a very black and white look, and used to be on the cover of a single the picture of the band with the suites, and that's a very icon of the early 60s image in black and white. But after the psychedelia, some drugs, and maybe a new culture, young culture began to arrive the color in a few years. All that black and white became a very kaleidoscope, psychedelic color image.
Like cream, for example.
Yes, cream. So it was an actor. The color was another actor of the book, because it has to explain the evolution of only the music, image, and culture of the 60s.
I would also like to add that this book, of course, was written from the perspective of Spanish people that we are. And in Spain we had a dictatorship in the 60s, as many of you may know. And this was even stronger. I think Spain was even more in black and white than England, and it took a while. It took a few years later to arrive for that color in Spain.
Y hay muchos grupos, hay solistas, pero también hay muchas mujeres. Y eso me parece importante a la hora de hacer un libro de esta categoría.
Ramiro said that there are lots of women in the book, and it's true, because when people think of the British invasion, people mostly think of bands of 4 guys, like the typical Beatles lineup with 2 guitars, a bass guitar, and a drummer. But in this case, when we talk about British invasion, this is something important. It's a differentiation that we don't make in Spain, but here it may be important. When we think about British invasion, we think about all the British bands of the era, not only the bands that had success in the United States. If there was a band like I don't know, like the Zombies or Chad and Jeremy, who were very much more popular in the United States than here, they are in the book. But for example, bands like the Tremolos, which were very popular in the United Kingdom and never made it to the United States, they are also here. So we don't make that distinction. It's mostly about British music from the era. And we think that women had a very important part in that. The first one being Cilla Black, which is a character very loved here in Liverpool, and we also love her very much. And then we have Lulu, we have Dusty Springfield, we have Petula Clark,
Faithful.
we have Marianne Faithfull, and of course we have Sandy Shaw, which made the foreword for the book, which is something that we are very grateful about to her.
It was also very Iñaki was able to interest Sandy Shaw on the book and made the product. It was a very
It was a very hard work, but we managed to get it. Yeah, and we are very happy because she also contributed to some part to her.
Una cosa, me he dado cuenta de que a lo mejor los que no habláis inglés, las contestaciones las estamos haciendo en inglés. Si queréis preguntar cualquier cosa en español sobre lo que ha preguntado Ramiro, lo podemos contestar en español también. Me doy cuenta de que solo contestamos en inglés.
Hay que hacerlo con subtítulos la próxima vez. Sí, sí. Bueno, y en general, cualquiera que quiera participar, anybody who wants to make a question or join us, this is like, we are all friends here. And
I would like to ask about the title. Why Antologia de la British Invasion? So it's like a mix English and Spanish. Why not Antología de la Invasión Británica? Is any other book similar? Maybe, that's what I thought.
Aunque, bueno, en realidad fue. I think that British Invasion is just a slogan. It's just,
Aparte está hecho para parecerse al logo de The Beatles y entonces tiene que mantener el estilo de la letra de los Beatles, porque como lo primero iba a la B, entonces sería British Invasion.
muy bien visto.
por eso la T tiene
Más larga.
más larga la T, ¿no?
Sí, sí.
Where's the invasion? America or Spain?
We are thinking more about America, but in the end it's worldwide because it was a worldwide phenomenon.
So is it a personal perspective from?
No, there's nothing
So
personal.
it's basically documentary.
Yeah. The idea is that we try to explain the story of each band in a way that may be interesting for someone who reads it.
So you put them in a historical context, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. We did an introduction in the beginning to put all the book in context, and then we, in each band, we try to explain the story, but to make it like a story, not from our personal point of view, not also about facts, but
So
also about...
humanized it, to like a journalistic.
Yeah, in some way, we try to make it like not like a novel, but something interesting to read and easy to read.
Did you link these bands together?
There are many...
Show how they were all maybe related or whatever.
There are many times in which this relation appear. There are characters who are in many different chapters, and we often make a reference to that. See this chapter for more details about this particular character. For example, I think the most clear is Brian Epstein. Brian Epstein was the manager for many of the first bands in the book. They are ordered chronologically from the first hit record.
Yeah.
And the first one, of course, the Beatles, Jerry and the Peacemakers, Billy J. Kramer, Cilla Black, they were all managed by Brian Epstein. They had Jerry Martin as a producer. So there's this kind of links. And for example, Mickey Most, which was also another producer, is in Lulu, in The Animals, in Herman's Hermits.
So do you contextualize it as a social phenomenon?
Yeah, sure. And a social phenomenon which may be more known here than in Spain.
Yeah.
Y de la cubierta, de la portada, a mí que me parece fascinante. No hay cosa más british que...
Sí, claro, esto es más londinense quizá que
Londinense,
Liverpool, pero bueno.
pero es
Sí,
británico.
es un icono.
Es un icono británico. Y los personajes, ¿por qué lección fue esto? Álvaro. No sé si se puede traducir.
Sí.
The election of the musicians and the cover of the book. I think well, in this case, we had to talk about some layers of celebrity. Some people more celebrity than others, and there's a hierarchy of. So I suppose that I will be very unfair with the ones that don't in the cover, but I choose the main bands: Beatles, Kings, Who, Stones, and the woman on the British Invasion. First of all, that image was the guard of Buckingham with the Beatles receiving the ABA. That's the original illustration.
So it's not just
It's the
the
postman.
the establishment against so the guards of the establishment
Yes.
and they're challenging the establishment.
And became that a funny group.
En esta portada hay un personaje.
Déjame decir algo para primero y luego. We also have like this kind of Sgt. Pepper's style cover, in which part of the idea is that people try to find the bands, who is who, and it's also interesting. And also the idea when Alvaro presented us the idea for the cover, cuando nos presentó la idea para la portada, nos gustó mucho tanto a Ramiro como a mí. We both loved it. But the only thing I say all the time was, put more. Put this guy, put this girl, put more people.
Yeah, it would be like a margarita pizza. We need some air around.
Como si fuera
And also there's a plane here.
un plane.
Very important.
You should have had Jimi Hendrix higher.
Sí,
too
sí,
low.
sí, sí.
Eso es lo que iba a decir yo.
Should have been near the top.
Bueno, dijiste que los Rolling Stones salen en este libro también, ¿no? Los Rolling Stones.
¿Cómo?
Los Rolling Stones salen en este libro también. Porque para mí eso es muy importante.
Los Rolling Stones son el segundo grupo más largo, que tiene más extensión. El primero, dejo que adivinéis cuál es.
En mi opinión es Rolling Stones, pero es...
Vale, bueno.
Es mi opinión, nada más.
El personaje Jimi Hendrix, ¿por qué está en español?
And Jimmy's here today. No,
Another Jimmy in the book. No, he asked why is Jimmy on the book, and it's a good question. In the end, this book is about British bands, only British bands. We have no British bands or artists. We have no people from the United States. But when we were thinking about which bands to include in there you have the Stones.
The Stones.
Which bands to include in the book? I was thinking about British bands, but then the Jimi Hendrix Experience came up, and then I said, okay, they qualify as a British band because it was a band that was formed in London, and two of the three members were British. So in the end, it's true that we talk mostly about Jimmy's story, but we think it's fair to include them since they are a British band from the era, and it was a fantastic story we wanted to talk about.
What about Tom Jones?
Tom
He's
Jones
not
is from,
British, is he? I mean, he's from Wales.
he's from Wales, yeah. We include all of Great Britain.
But
in there.
it's not a band as such, is he?
No. There are also individual artists like the girls, like Donovan, like Tom Jones. Yeah. We include it's not only
Tom Jones.
yeah, Cat Stevens.
Yeah.
We talk about bands often, but in the end it's British artists.
Okay.
Y a mí hay una cosa que me gusta mucho, ¿cómo se diría esto? Hay que me gusta mucho. I love these pictures
Yeah.
and the history of this picture. ¿No? Si alguien quiere contar.
Sam Gordon was a very related duet
Sí.
with Paul McCartney because Paul McCartney was everybody knows that Peter Russell was the what was the name?
The brother-in-law.
So it was very important for that two guys who had that composer, and that's why the shadow of the band might be something very related with McCartney, and that's the way we put the brother-in-law.
Yeah, each image has like something hidden, which may be related to a song, to a part of the story, which we think is